Hello, and bit of a change of studio today. Welcome to my turreted terrarium, and I've been reading the dictionary, and it's not actually a third story vestibule, although it is subvestibular. And I've been fashioning stakes, which not for killing vampires, honestly, although they obviously come into the equation, but they are for training the plant life. I need some training. And in my beige tower, not quite ivory, and not for much longer, here in sunny Southport, or Birkdale to be more just as precise. And we are articulate today, of course. On the matter of staring, if I can even see myself, how well my face is made out on this little screen here. That would be quite a benign stare, I'd say, but not benign because it would be too long, and especially if longer than that. And we know how narcissists like to weigh people up by looking at them for too long, or they've already got them a little bit too enmeshed and codependent, so they're in the habit of doing that as if to make you think there's something you should do or shouldn't do. And being a bit more melancholic by nature, or creative people as well, probably fit the same description, if they're not one and the same. The Pogo then, if they're not one and the same, that people with a melancholic disposition, creative disposition, find themselves shocked by the behaviour of strangers. I recently went to Scotland, a year and a half ago I went there, and there weren't too many people angry at the English, but you get the impression that it doesn't help. And it doesn't help to be the sort of personality you are when you're a bit of a loner of that sensitive disposition. And it's like there's just a touch paper they can lighten, and it's, oh, why did they do that? It's why did they have to do that to me? And before you know it, you can't control yourself, and lots of people have written on this and done better videos and better coaching programs, well, as part of a coaching program, such as I have used, and well, they're better at that. And at that, the thing is always to remain verbally fluent. Do you like the Scotch bonnet chili peppers, by the way? I thought they'd never get that big. Lush green leaves. If I had a greenhouse, then I would be an uncompetitive business. Now, if I had a avocado grown from seed, the big one there. Further down, in its third year, ginkgo biloba, nearly twice the size this year. That should help with the Alzheimer's. Does it work with the Alzheimer's? I don't know. Trying to get to the point that some people are very tribal by nature, some people not so bad, and that's why they respond the way they do. And you shouldn't be so surprised by that, should you, that all the different factors that are taken into account. But at the same time, although rights don't matter, they're everything that matters, and you should self-champion. And I've just lost another point. I'm flashbacking again. It's a lot like the idea when you're when they say you suffer because you want to, or you let things happen to you. I've been thinking about a number of things that I'd never really thought about as clearly, or maybe I have from time to time over the past 2 years, that may have shamed me as a child, and why I was even in that position. And I've looked back on even with a tentative shame and guilt, where I haven't been prepared to look on them as clearly or critically. I think when you look at something guiltily in the past, it's probably not as much as your fault as you thought it was, if you still look at it that way such a long way into the future. Some things maybe a bit more niggling, a bit more difficult to say there's nothing wrong with, but there are things that that do fit that description. The saying that you should self-champion, and that yes, not being able to stick up for yourself is a lot to do with guilt, those sort of issues, those sort of flashbacks. Anyway, I think I've run dry on that issue, drier than I thought I would be. From the Bottle Garden lounge, with its very comfortable cane furniture, especially on the arms. Sayonara.